Hi, welcome to Beyond the Music. My name is Reno Silva. I'm your host for the show, and today, for our first episode, we're actually bringing in someone I know very well, a very well-known person to the community as well. I'd like to take the time to welcome Remigio to Beyond the Music.
How's it going, brother?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, man. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
How's life been, man? How have things been going?
Oh, man. Life's, has its up and downs, and I'm just taking it day by day, brother. Life is it's pretty interesting, and you get a lot of lessons that you learn throughout all the experiences that you go through. And so I'm just very blessed to be alive, to be doing what I love, and to have a great family around me and friends, and as you know, we get to do what we love, music.
That's
so
correct.
We're good.
I was actually going to ask you, how much does music play a part in getting through moments like this? I mean, going through things that you least expect or other moments where you can't necessarily predict, but how much do you think music plays a part in allowing you to get through moments that are trivial?
Well, first of all, if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be in this mess. But if it wasn't for music, I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be alive right now. Even from my first lessons with my first guitar teacher, just the way that he presented life, even through the music that we were working on, like we were playing music by, Johann Sebastian Bach, and, we have 36,000 notes to go through, and how do you get from point A to the end, right, and it's hills and valleys, and creating that, geography that becomes interesting for the listener, and the way that he would do that was to present real life situations and almost like a movie. And so, when you have that type of foundation and you see things for what they are, and you problem solve all the time as a musician, whether it's playing the guitar and trying to make it not make any noise.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All these things, they become part of your experience, So when things happen in life, you go back to your problem solving skills, and you're like, well, what can I do in this situation? What's good from this situation? And, I've been very lucky to have some great mentors to be able to get myself, out of a rut, but music, it saved me, There were moments where, I wasn't sure, what was going to happen, and especially with everything that went down, getting death threats and, having your mother, your Portuguese mom being called a whore, what I mean? All these things, and you're like, wow, it's crazy. Is the climate really that cold in this world? Like, you're delivering a message of peace and unity, and people just take it, invert it, and then throw it out there and say, this is what you meant. These are the words that you were saying, and it's like, that's not what came out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But for instance, music, there was a song that came from all of this, and it was divine inspiration, and it's connected me back to God again, and that to me is one of the greatest things, is knowing that there's a divine presence that's guiding all of this, and there's a reason for why you and I are here talking today.
Exactly.
And a song called I Did It for Peace was a song that I just said at the piano, and I'm not sure if you ever had this before, but sometimes, you improvise something on the guitar and it's like, oh, that was kind of cool. But I sat down at the piano, I put my hands down, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to sing, I didn't know what key I was going to be in. I just started playing.
And away it went.
And as I started playing, words started coming out of my mouth. And by the time I was done, I turned off my voice memo, and I'm like, oh, okay. 2 weeks later, I'm looking around to find song ideas. I listened to 4 minutes and 2 seconds of this, and it was a complete song, finished, done.
Right there and done.
And where did that come from? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know how it is.
Totally.
You know how it is. Like those moments, it doesn't happen very often, but those words and that music spoke exactly what it was and where I came from in doing what I did.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're a big proponent for peace. You've always been that, and I don't know anyone who looks at you and not see that side of you to be able to push for that. You've always been one of the more positive people I've seen within the industry to handle that. What scares you about music at its worst? Like, what is it about music that can scare you?
I think the dishonesty that's out there, the trickery, a lot of times people are not, it's not what it seems. You know what I mean? There's a big facade. And although the people have talent to do what they do, they are worked to the bone, you know, for the coin.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so you don't realize that, you know, the guy who's having an interview with you was doing 12 other interviews beforehand and then has to go and perform afterwards. And all these things are going on, and what ends up suffering? The music, you know? And so when they can't sing anymore, or their voices are gone, what does the manager have? What does the agent have? What does the record label have?
Right,
Nothing.
Right.
So what do they have to do? They have to fake their way through it.
Right.
You know, so then you have auto-tune live, you know, you have lip syncing live, all these things just to keep everybody fed, you know, and the music gets lost. And it's not about making music and moving people anymore. It becomes a business. And that to me is the sad state, because, you know, money doesn't mean anything, you know? And unfortunately, they're propagating that in the music industry today, pushing the bling and what we got, and, you know, my jewelry and my girls, my cars, and all this kind of, and that's not reality, man. A lot of these guys are doing these videos. They're renting cars.
Right.
They're on loan. Do you know what I mean? They're pretending to be what, you know. They always say, stand up above your station. But I mean, listen, if you're honest about it, you are going to be the artist that you are, where you are at the moment that you're at. You know. And I think there's a lot of facades that are put out there. You know, and being that the music industry is owned by corporate elite, you know, they don't have the best interests of the people. They have the best interests for the pockets.
So what is it, given all of that, because you've had a glimpse of that, you've already had a chance to go around the world, you've had a chance to be exposed to so many people, what is it that you want your legacy to be musically, or want to be leaving your impression within the industry as? Like, what is it that you would want people to remember you as, essentially?
I don't really care if people remember me in the industry. What I do care is that, you know, the sound technician, you know, who's working his butt off for this show knows that he's appreciated. You know what I mean? Those types of things to me is what counts. And when you meet people in the industry, like I was saying, just on the Facebook Live when we were doing it over there, I've known you for 10 years, you know, and you're the same person that you were 10 years ago, you know? And that goes a long way, because success changes people.
His integrity, I think you've done well at keeping that, you know, and it shows, because you've always had the support, especially of the Portuguese community. That's one of the areas that, at a glance, watching things go down, and we can see how they've always had your back. They've always propped you up. Any ideas in trying to do something within the Portuguese community, or do a Portuguese album, or do something that would almost visit your roots?
I mean, even when I was, you know, touring all around the world with the tenors, I mean, I brought a little bit of the Portuguese with me. I composed a song with my mom when my father passed away, called Nada Mais, and you know, and for our PBS special, I ended up bringing Hernani Raposo and Moscatel, you know, the guitarist from the community, to play on this fado, so that the world can experience a little bit of the Portuguese culture. Because I mean, in the group, you know, there was 4 of us, you know what I mean? And Victor was the Maltese, and I was the Portuguese, and then you have Scottish and Irish. And so, you know, it was the 4 of us that brought those elements together, our cultures, you know. And Vic and I have a lot of similarities, being that he was Maltese. So, you know, to me, it was important to make sure that, you know, people know where we came from, you know, because Amália Rodrigues was playing in my house 24/7. My dad was a huge fan of Amália, you know, and to me, I grew up with that, you know, and that to me is a stamp on my heart that I would never wash away. It's part of who I am, you know. So I wrote that song Nada Mais, which I performed everywhere around the world, and people loved it. Like they loved the song. I played the Portuguese guitar live, you know what I mean? So talked about the guitar, talked about, you know, times with my uncles, you know, my uncle Manuel and my other uncle Manuel, and my dad Manuel, all the Manuels. You know what I mean?
Manuel da Costa.
Manuel da Costa. So, you know, that it's in my veins, you know what I mean? And I think it's great for people to know that, you know. Eu tenho coração português.
Claro. Bem, agora começamos com uma frase em português. Vou fazer uma pergunta em português agora.
Tá bem.
O disco novo, Vox Inaudito, isto é o primeiro disco que lançaste agora a ser um músico solo?
Sim, depois de 10 anos no grupo dos tenors, eu agora estou fazendo este disco solo que fala muito acerca do que se passou e também de verdades na vida. Coisas que estão escondidas entre nós, porque as pessoas que governem quase tudo não querem que a gente saiba estas verdades. Então, Vox Inaudito há uma voz que não foi ouvida.
Claro.
Como a minha voz não foi ouvida da maneira que eu estava transmitindo a mensagem. E eles tirarem tudo da própria intenção das minhas palavras, fizerem o inverso e meterem aquilo tudo para as pessoas verem e aquilo não é o que eu sou. Não?
Claro.
Então este disco é mesmo falando acerca disso e entendo as verdades.
Mas tens agora a voz para tentar fazer isso, exatamente. A música que está gravada vais sempre fazer isso.
Vai ser, é difícil porque depois de uma coisa destas, todas as portas fecham. As pessoas não they don't pick up the phone.
Right.
They don't return texts, because they're all afraid. What's this guy going to do? You know what I mean? And it's all about heart, about peace and unity.
Vamos começar agora com uma música do disco.
Tudo bem.
Podes fazer.
Yeah.
Remi, thank you so much for coming. What a joy this has been.
Yeah, man. Thank
Here,
you.
everyone, we're going to have Remi do a song from his album, Vox Inaudito. Remi, prenda. Peace.
I didn't